the banks in Singapore are extremely conservative. A lot of the big ones are. They don't have derivatives on their book like some of the American banks. They're not loaning out, a ton of their cash flow. They've got a ton in reserves. The odds of those banks going down are low. Now you can kind of worry about, hey, what would happen if the internet took a hit? All our accounts are online or whatever. And that brings me to the eighth point, which is consider dumping a good chunk of your money into real estate across multiple continents. Because it's physical, it has a track record of 1,000 years, and you can live in it. Okay? With that said, if you remember an article and a video I did a while back on part 1 was why you shouldn't buy real estate, part 2 is why you shouldn't invest in real estate, I still don't like real estate as an investment. I like Grant Cardone. I don't like real estate. I have a passion for it. I don't like any investment really. I recognize that as you start to get wealthy, investing makes sense. And I'm coming to you as a guy who was a professional trader. Okay, what I like is high margin businesses that you can just dump money into, through paid marketing, like my business. If I had complete confidence in like the business climate would continue as is, with YouTube the way it is and my articles, like I've got this down to a system, and bank safety, and there was no inflation, I would just dump everything into this business forever, because it's just, we're talking about 1,000% returns versus the 8% you get in real estate or whatever. The real estate is more for just psychological security. The track that it's physical, I know it's going to exist 100 years from now. Like, if I go down to Florida and buy a house, it's going to be there 100 years from now. I'm going to be able to use it. It's a home base. I can keep all my stuff there. Worst case scenario, there's still it's insured, and you can live in it. As long as you've got your house, and if you have your transportation covered, like I just walk everywhere. I'm in shooting distance from everywhere I want to go to walk, and mostly I just order food delivery. But if you can either walk everywhere, or you've got your car owned outright, it's hard to touch you, man. Okay, and you've got bank accounts in multiple countries, and you're rich, and you've got a high margin business, and you own your house and maybe own a house in base number 2. Dude, you're gonna be good. Okay, you're gonna be fine. Chances are, I think the U.S. is gonna continue to dominate for the next 20 or 30 years. Again, like, as opposed to a lot of these bloggers, the doom and gloom guys, I've lived in different countries. The US and Canada are so far ahead of Asia. They're so far ahead of Eastern Europe. People work harder. People are smarter. People are, it's crazy. It's not like they'll become socialist dictatorships overnight. You're going to be allowed to own property 15 years from now. You're going to be allowed to run a business. It would be the absolute dumbest thing, and there's no government that dumb that would, after having seen the track record of communism, would move towards that model. Will taxes continue to go up and countries move towards more socialist to a degree? Yeah. I mean, will automation kill a lot of jobs, and will there, I've seen them propose the universal basic income. Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting to see how that stuff develops. Will there become a wider gap between the rich and the poor? Abso-fucking-lutely. I could see, America, I could see the taxes getting as high as 50%. But I'm from Canada. The tax bracket's already 42%. There's a reason I'm not living in Toronto. I'd be paying like close to 42%, which isn't great, right? But, okay, it's not the state owns the property, okay? It's not, you can't own a business, all right? You're going to be able to own businesses for the rest of our lifetime. You're going to be able to earn money. This is especially true if you're mobile, right? I haven't lived in Canada for 5 years. Okay. So you want to be able to be mobile. You want accounts in different countries. You want to be a good boy. Okay. And you want to consider dumping some of that money into real estate as your insurance policy, and sort of just as um, a psychological comfort. Like, I'm not huge on the fact that so much of, like, all my bank accounts are basically online, right? You know, the currencies are being phased out. And Bitcoin's online, guys, too. So please don't don't start in on that. Okay. There is a psychological comfort to, like, I own that physical thing that I can live in, which I'll probably be doing within the next couple of years. But getting rich is the big one, man. Getting rich, being a good boy. You know, you're gonna be good, man. And there's more ways to make money. I mean, there's 22-year-olds making millions of dollars a year on fucking Instagram. This shit didn't exist even when I was growing up. Okay? It's better than ever. There's more ways to make money. Yeah, North America's moving more towards socialism to a degree, but they're not going to kill the golden goose, man. Like, even the most socialist country right now in the world is Sweden. The highest tax bracket's 57%. But if you're making like 200 grand over there, you're probably paying 50%. Could you see taxes going that high? Yeah, I could see that. Okay, because they're having to pay for these bankrupt social security programs, and maybe they'll throw the universal basic income in there. Okay, maybe property taxes will go up a bit more and whatever. But that's the extent that I see for the next 30 years. And there's always going to be ways for you to make more money, dude. And if you're mobile, it's like, you know, you don't have to be living in those countries. I'm not living in those countries. I would like to spend more of my time in America, not Canada. Okay, Canada's too cold, man. And I just like Americans, dude. I like, and, you know, to live in America, to live in somewhere like Florida or Arizona, Texas, you know, and pay 30% total, especially as I get older and my mom's getting older, to have that higher standard of living is definitely on the table for me. Okay, because one thing you'll notice when you move outside of North America or whatever, it's like, you know, like Amazon delivery and stuff, and all those things you take for granted, the super functionality that you take for granted back home, is something you do tend to miss. Okay, but dude, just as long as you're rich, you get a couple extra bank accounts as your insurance policy, you dump your money back into your high margin service business as fast as you possibly can to scale up as fast as you possibly can, then maybe as an insurance policy, you look at buying some property. I mean, in Florida, you can get a nice house for 200 grand. Okay, like 3-bedroom, etc. In Canada, that's going to cost you $1 million. But you know, mid-sized town in Florida, mid-sized town in Arizona. You know, 200 grand gets you a nice condo in Malaysia. 200 grand gets you a great house in Eastern Europe. You know, there's plenty of places where you can put down that kind of money without having, you know, and pay that off in cash. Just have the car owned, and you're gonna be good. All right, man. So keep your head up on that, and don't even watch about politics. Don't even watch about privacy or whatever. That's not dumping your head in the sand. Okay, it's just focusing on what's positive, and it's focusing on what you actually can fucking control, which is getting rich. Okay, get rich and get rich, reinvest that back into your business, and then protect that wealth. All right. Other than that, stay the fuck out of trouble. Be a good boy, which is easy because all you're going to be doing is grinding and exercising and getting up early and having sex with your girlfriend, and then in your spare time hanging out with your buddies, eating healthy, living a good life. Okay? Stay on your game. Same fucking message I've been saying since 2012 when I started. Not going to change. Going to continue to keep telling you guys to play the game of life. It's going to be all good. It's a positive world. It's the best time to be alive, man. So keep your head up. Keep positive. Keep grinding.